The lead up to the election has been very interesting, to say the least. What the people are actually talking about, as opposed to what the mainstream media is platforming, it's been very diametrically opposed. In previous years, perhaps, speaking about 2016 and 2020, there might have been this type of a gap, but we hadn't had a platform at that point in time in the form of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and that would go ahead and effectively pierce the veil like we have this time around. So while you can see dissenting opinions on the right, on the left, or hell, just even some of the people in the middle picking and choosing whatever side they want to over on that social media platform, you have the mainstream out there trying to tell you that, you know what, there's this new hip, young, and cool up-and-coming streamer by the name of Hasan Piker? Yeah, he goes by Hasan on the Twitch. The Twitch is like the YouTubes, but it's different because it's purple. Now realizing that this dork has been around for how long at this point in time, and he has yet to really hone in his craft of articulation to any form or fashion. Like, the guy is about as coherent and smooth as a Helen Keller speech, and he presents about as many compelling points as a rubber dog ball. But into NBC News, Twitch is transforming into a political arena. Hasan Piker is at the forefront. Now, let me just check. This was published September 24th of this year. Hasan he's just one of these new up and coming streamers, and the longtime streaming platform for online gaming is becoming a destination for Gen Zers and millennials seeking political news and commentary. Bro, this is why mainstream media is dying on its ass. Like, Twitch has been a lefty echo chamber for at least 2 election cycles. Destiny was still cutting his teeth back in 2016 when he made the jump from gaming to politics, and he was over there before he got bounced. What was that, 2021 or something like that? I don't really know. Who cares what the life of a cuck is and how it evolves over time? But Son for years has been talking about, and I wouldn't imagine that NBC knows anything about how something America deserved a day in September. I'm not entirely sure. It's so funny now that I just bring that up and I just connect the dots there. That was 2 weeks after the 23rd anniversary of the attacks. Very interesting timing, NBC, but fueled by cold brew, zero sugar sodas, and stacks of Zyn nicotine pouches. Leftist streamer Hasan Piker, I'm coming. And anyways, spends about 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, it's more or less, a few hours here and there. His chair sticks around for all 8 hours. 7 days a week, I'm pretty sure it's only weekdays, breaking down political news and election updates to a young audience that also skews very male. Very interesting. Interesting, because I see a lot of his orbiters, which I guess biologically speaking are male, but wouldn't really hop off the page as being the most masculine group, but illuminated by 3 desktop monitors. Yeah, it's pretty standard setup. Okay, he built in his $2.2 million Los Angeles home. Socialist Piker began his live broadcast in front of tens of thousands of viewers on a recent Wednesday. Yes, by talking about Ilhan Omar's primary win, the latest campaign polls, the war in Gaza, and the ruling in Arizona that a fetus can be referred to as an unborn child. And I'm sure he had a lot of great points like, Mom, where are the chicken nuggets? The online influencer has amassed 2.7 million followers on the Twitch platform. How many subs, though? 1.42 million subscribers on YouTube and 925,000 followers on TikTok. Is among the many political creators who have had meteoric rises in recent years. Bro, like, if you were writing this article, a few years back, he went from, dropping out of the Young Turks echo system, using the name brand bankability of his uncle, Cenk Uygur, in order to kickstart his platform. But, it was long since past being referential, but okay, recent years. What was it, earlier this year, he was complaining about nobody watching his stuff. Holy crap, man. You guys couldn't be more out of touch. Turning into their own full-fledged niche within the broader media realm. Key to engaging with his younger audience about politics is not just about embracing memes like the now notorious Brat Summer, which was popularized in the release of British pop star Charlie XCX. Yeah, it's very interesting, right? But it's so funny, right? Like, NBC will go ahead and run this puff piece for the likes of Hasan, but on the other hand, they'll go ahead and deride how toxic fans led by the likes of Critical Drink Piker and Nerdrotic are poisoning the youth, but because Hasan is speaking socialism and communism to young males out there, that's a good thing according to the mass media. What about the idiot himself? What does he have to say on the subject? Well, apparently the right wing owns everything, bro, and I don't know, like the progressives are like leading dudes under 30. What does Chad have to say? Like, he's really dumb. But there's a minute-long clip here, which I think we got some interesting numbers to take a look here, because you got this absolute nobody. No offense, okay, but absolute nobody on Twitter, which I would imagine he ended up getting a lot of these followers from this. From this clip going incredibly viral. I'm seeing a lot of people retweet this, and hell, I forget exactly who I ended up finding this from, but yeah, it's a veritable nobody that's out there. A lot of interesting tags in his bio. I'd imagine that there's some, there might be some astroturfing on this, but 3.6 million views, and well, things aren't going well for him because he ended up blocking replies after 12 of them when people immediately go, oh yeah, no, yeah, like this guy's a fraud. And his perception of the world is something that I'm seeing a lot from lefties that are out there. But let's hear him out. Let's hear out Hasan.
There is a massive amount of right-wing radicalization that has been occurring, especially in younger male spaces. Everything is completely dominated by right-wing politics. If you're a dude under the age of 30 and you have any hobbies whatsoever, whether it's playing video games, whether it's working out, whether it's, I don't know, listening to like a history podcast or whatever, every single facet of that is just completely dominated by center-right to, I wouldn't say far-right in the same way that it was back in like the 2016 era at the end of like Obama's administration, but like definitely center-right to Trumpian right, like openly Trump right, not like genuinely neo-Nazi. That part.
What the? Okay, cool. Well, that kind of 43 seconds for me seemed like an awful long amount of time, but Hasan doesn't listen to history podcasts. How would he ever have a frame of reference on that? Oh, playing video games? Bro, I break down. You just go and take a look at some of my previous videos that are out there. How many far-right ideologies infiltrate gaming right now? Yeah, I think zero next to none. There might be a couple of common sense individuals that are out there, and I'm going to be talking about a few of them here in the future, you know, specifically Moon Studio CEO, he's back in the news, but yeah, we'll be talking about that all in due time, but kind of missing the boat on that one. And oh yeah, things were worse in leading up in 2016. Bro, President of the United States wouldn't even call out radical Islam bombing places in the Middle East, okay? Wouldn't even mention ISIS, ISIL, wouldn't even utter any of those words. Things have gotten significantly watered down now, and I would argue that we are hamstrung by far more ideological zealots as we stand right now. But things were so much so much more easygoing in 2016 because the left thought that they had ideological power throughout every single institution that they could get their grubby little hands on, which in fact was the case. And prior to Elon Musk picking up Twitter, you had full domination over social media. Just take a look at the way that the election in 2020 was covered as opposed to the way that it was covered and has been covered this year. Nobody would have been talking about what happened in Butler in July or more recent golf outing or whatever that third attempt was on Trump. Because I remember how things were a couple of years ago. Hell, I've had over a dozen videos taken down off my channel. And recently, too, for whatever reason, another video that I made, oh my God, what was that, late 2020 or something like that? Because I could tell, based on the way that the face cam was just down in the bottom right-hand corner, like it was very, very early in my internet career. I just had one of those videos taken down for medical misinformation because I was pointing out some patents that Bill Gates had filed in regards to experimental medications. Very interesting stuff. But this center-right, I wouldn't say far-right, but I wouldn't also say neo-Nazi. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, this guy's retarded. Hasan, I'm pretty sure, is squarely in the double-digit IQ club, but we still have another 20 seconds, bro. Holy.
Part is quieted down a little bit, but like they're like 90% of the way there for the most part. And that's it. Everything that they see is right-wing sentiment being expressed by individuals that they find charismatic, thought leaders, influencers that they subscribe to, and I think that is some of the reason why you see this movement.
Man, there are so many jump cuts in that, mostly because he can't string together a coherent sentence. But yeah, charismatic leaders that actually take an interest in the youth, I do have to agree with him, okay? Especially when it comes to listening to people talking to young men about how to properly lift or exercise in the gym. Yeah, it's mostly because the domain of self-improvement, is dominated by people that have common sense to conservative ideology. Big shock on that one. The people that are out there saying you can be whatever you want depending on how you wake up or roll out of bed in the morning, you're just perfect the way you are. Yeah, that's people in your audience giving up the entire domain of charismatic and thought-provoking influencers and saying that that is strictly a conservative domain at this point in time. That doesn't exactly speak all that well, and especially to the NBC puff pieces that are out there saying that, oh no, now he's a new thought leader. They're saying that, the leftist thought leaders aren't exactly that charismatic or engaging to the youth. But yeah, the way that it's saying, if you're a dude under 30, you see it in your group chats and social feeds every day, which is why you have posts like this from relatively innocuous accounts go super viral like that. You never see, or at least I don't see any sort of, smaller conservative creator with a hot take out there go ultra viral. It's always one of these leftist ideologues or trad thoughts with bad ideas. Maybe that's about as close as you can get, but they're just undercover feminists. If you take a look at it, it's just they decide that, sundresses as opposed to hair dye is going to be the cause du jour for the next few years. But Hasan seceding the under 30 Gen Z demographic to the right. That's interesting. That is very interesting. But then again, I don't really agree with him on all of the points that he raised on that one, mostly because Hasan Piker's an idiot. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.